Hi, everyone. I want to thank you all for your lovely messages, your comments, your outpouring of support, your love, and for standing with me. Though I haven't been able to respond, I want you all to know that it's love and gratitude from your girl. Listen, this is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. By now, you all know that I have resigned from CP24 and Bell. I was not fired. I was not let go or laid off. I have never been on contract. You are all used to seeing me smile, see me happy and full of energy, but things are not always as they seem. You see me on TV, dressed up, full of life, put together. I'm just a happy soul, very passionate about storytelling, and a bubbly energy individual who always wants to share my happiness, help bring some sunshine into all of your lives. But on the inside, I have been really hurting. Why? Because of the way Belle had been treating me. I gave my everything to the company. Literally my blood, my sweat, and my tears. My story spans 11 and a half years. In those 11 and a half years with the company, I only received a raise of about $14. As a long-time Emmy Award-winning TV personality, I have been treated like a token and a commodity by CP24 and Bell, passed over for promotions more times than I can count. I was just a filler for Bell, thrown a breadcrumb so I would just stop asking for more. I received hardly any raises and no promotions or opportunities over my 11 years. Except CP24 would give me opportunities when filling in for white colleagues, weather and hosting. Over those 11 and a half years, I was never told a single negative thing about my performance. Not once. I asked, but there were never any criticisms. I heard, "You are the very fabric that makes CP24 what it is. You are loved. You are the bright spot in a wheel of negativity. You are the P in CP24. When you think CP24, you think Patricia Jaggernauth." But still, no solidified opportunities. Some of you have questioned my qualifications, so let me share. I've worked nearly 20 years in television. I'm an Emmy Award-winning TV personality. I've won multiple Canadian media awards. I'm the most followed television personality at Bell Media. I've worked for E! at NBC in Los Angeles. I've appeared on BBC for special coverage for weather. And I have been the host of North America's largest Caribbean festival, the Toronto Caribbean Carnival. I have been highly requested as host for all community events at Bell Media. So clearly, and most certainly, I was qualified for every position I applied for at Bell and CP24. This is not a PJ issue. This is a Bell Media issue with me and not giving me the opportunities. I worked in a very toxic work environment. There were more mental health leaves taken by my colleagues and more colleagues resigning than I can even count. The environment was terrible for mental health, even for the most positive. Those who worked with me, worked beside me, my amazing team at CP24, have witnessed firsthand how many times I've applied for jobs and open positions, how much I was loved by you, by everyone, but also how many times I was passed over, time and time and time again. I have lost out on so many opportunities to white colleagues, from weather positions to hosting positions across Bell Media. These are all opportunities that I've interviewed for, were overqualified for, and told by management that I was perfect for these positions. But I was constantly filling in, and I never had a leader ever offer me a contract. Never had a Bell executive made an investment in me. I was a commodity, just a filler. Good enough to fill in, but never good enough to invest in. Well, I am more. I am good enough. I was misled by Bell over and over again. Many of you have asked me why I did this for so long. And if I wasn't getting those opportunities, I held on to those false promises from all waves of management. I was misled by management to believe those opportunities were on the way. Of course, I held on to hope. This was my dream job, guys. In 11 and a half years, there were different managers that were in charge. They were great fans of mine. They told me they watched me for years. They told me how amazing I was, that I was very loved by even their own families, but still no opportunities. I was denied a basic living wage. I received my first raise on my 5th year of working at CP24. That was the year of 2016. And I never received another raise until CP24's on-air staff unionized. That was in 2019. I believed that the union would act in my best interest, but they didn't. Prior to the union, I asked for a raise time and time again, and I was denied, told that there wasn't even $1 to give me. This as I watched white male colleagues, some who had never been on TV before, get 6-figure contracts. This hurt so much, so very much. I was young, guys. I was building my career, worked so hard, always said yes, always available, worked every weekend, every long weekend, every holiday. Why? To show and prove to management that I'm reliable, I'm hardworking, and I was always ready to do more. I had to hustle for my livelihood. I had to freelance. I was making significantly less than any of my colleagues every 2 weeks from CP24. This, of course, if I didn't fill in. Not every week is the same for a freelancer. I worked 2 days a week with no other guaranteed shifts. My hand was forced to work outside of the network. Management was uncomfortable, but couldn't offer me more. So I fought to freelance, and I fought to survive. I built a very successful career freelancing. Yet I still held on to hope that I would lock in a part-time or full-time gig at CP24, CTV, and Bell. I kept showing up. I kept applying. I was the strongest candidate for every position I applied for. My skill and my talent was verbally celebrated by all levels of management at Bell. But that was just lip service. I kept hearing no, but was told that the right opportunity, it will come. Does this mean because I was cementing a career as a freelancer that it was okay to continue to be at the bottom of the pay scale at Bell? Does this mean that if you are a successful person outside of your job, that your employer can pay you less? I communicated my interest at Bell. I made it very clear that I would leave it all for a stable gig at CP24, CTV, and Bell. But still I heard no. So I kept filling in. This past summer, the summer of 2022, I was told I could no longer accept freelance gigs without permission, that it would be a conflict of interest to the company. Fine, I would give up my entire freelancing career. But where was my offer for more within Bell? There wasn't one. Nothing extra. From Bell, while I was impeding my ability to freelance, how would I survive? How could I live? I wouldn't. They wanted control, to see me lose. And here's where I realize I'm done. All the hope I was holding on to was merely false. There remains a severe gender and race wage gap at CP24. I have colleagues who hold the same positions as male colleagues, but the females, they make much less. And I too am an example of this. In the weather department, one maid of 4 employees, 2 white men, 1 white woman, and myself. I was at the bottom of the scale and made significantly less than the males, though I constantly filled in for those men over the 11 and a half years. Despite my hard work and dedication to the company, I made a fraction of what my white male counterparts make. I was told news anchors can't host CP24 breakfast, and hosts can't read or touch the news. Yet I recall at least 3 of my news anchor colleagues constantly filling in as host. As well, why is the Black community not represented on CP24 breakfast? Where are the Black individuals on this show? When a Black person would be present on the show, it was, just like I, filling in. No permanent Black representation on CP24. There is great representation throughout CP24, throughout the day on CP24, I was told. So that made it okay to lack Black representation on Toronto's #1 morning show? I asked and begged for them to use me, advised that with the lack of Black representation on CP24 breakfast, it would be a win for the Black community to have a CP24 executive add me to the show, a notable, beloved Black CP24 personality, to the cast permanently, since I was already constantly filling in as host over the years, right? Again, good enough to fill in, but never good enough to invest in. All Black people who appear on CP24 breakfast are fill-ins. There are no Black staff holding permanent positions on this very prominent start to every day. I complained to so many people in management throughout the years. Management who not until recently, in my 11th year working there, ever looked like me or my BIPOC colleagues. I took my complaints all the way to the top of Bell. After 2 years of bringing my complaints to the president of Bell, I was finally granted 1 conference call and merely 1 opportunity, which swiftly ended when the executive in charge was let go from Bell Media Studios. My health was severely impacted. I was working harder, not smarter, turnarounds, long shifts, varied start times. I spent time in the ICU at the hospital, and I had a breakdown on live TV during Bell Let's Talk Day. During this breakdown, no one from Bell helped me. I asked my managers if I would be able to tap into any of the resources or the funds raised by Bell Let's Talk for talk therapy. She told me part-time employees do not have access to the Employee Family Assistant Plan. That was a blow to the gut. After I pushed, my manager finally made talk therapy available for me, but it expired in 3 months on their time. I was not ready to speak, nor did I trust a Bell-recommended therapist. It's like trusting the HR department, knowing their interests lie with the company, not with the employee. So here I am, and now is the time for me to stand up for myself and for all women in media everywhere. Bell has let us down, time and time again. We all deserve better. Not just the on-air talent and staff, but you, the public too. As you know, I have now resigned from CP24, and I have filed a human rights claim. In the end, I was given no choice because there was a glass ceiling over my head. This has not been easy for me, not at all. I thought long and so very hard about this, and I'm heartbroken to walk away from all of you, my loyal and supportive viewers. You have always been there for me, and you've helped me grow my career to where it is today. I fought and I pushed all I could, but the company wouldn't listen. Well, they hear me now, loud and clear. It is time for Bell to listen and to change. I want to thank you, all of you beautiful viewers who have supported me over the years, for more than a decade, and continue to. I see you all. I hope my story and my experience inspires you all to know your worth, to fight for what you deserve, to know the power of your voice, and to never give up on you. I am not going anywhere, but I am no longer going to be with a company that doesn't treat me anywhere close to what I'm worth and what I deserve. I love you all. Bye-bye. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon.